What's up, people? I am back for another video. Sorry it took me a couple of days to do this one. It's just crazy few days. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to do Transporter 3, and then in the evening, we're going to do Screen Rant is Gay. I'll do Samurai Cop on Wednesdays. Just notice it's on my headphones on. Sorry. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Anyway, yeah, so as I was saying, yeah, I'll do Samurai Cup on Wednesday since I don't have anything to do on Wednesday anyway. So I guess really quick before I get into this video, tomorrow, my normal Monday list will be doing 2011 best movies of 2011. Tuesday we'll be doing Saw 3, and I will do it on Tuesday. I promise. I know the last few Saw videos have not been on Tuesday, but I will do it on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, like I said, Samurai Cop. Thursday will be Red 2. Friday will be The Wrath of Man. Kind of, since I'm on a little bit of a Jason Statham kick, so why not do that one? That was a really good movie that I probably should have reviewed at the time it came out, but I just never did. But so I figured, why not now? So, and then I don't know what I'm going to do in the next weekend yet. Nothing's really come up, because there's nothing really new like coming out until like February right now. So I'll figure something out. I'll see if I can find like a Screen Rant article for next week. But the one I'm doing tonight is doozy. I'm gonna bring it up again. The fact that they were trying to call Beekeeper a John Wick ripoff when it isn't. I'm not even really gonna bring up the article for this one, because pretty much the whole thing is it's just a John Wick ripoff. They're still saying, oh, it's a good movie, but it's not a John Wick ripoff. John Wick didn't create the revenge story. So, yeah. But anyway, today I am going to be more ranting about Transporter 3. I just did not like this one. This one was... it's weird, because I remember liking it at the time. I think I saw it on Movie Channel. I remember being, like, more positive on it, but I think it's just back then I wasn't as, like, critical on stuff. So... that could be it, but this one I just did not like. I'll flat out say it. I did not fucking like this one. It was boring to get into. There were still some cool fight scenes, but also the editing is horrible. It had that problem I had with Quantum of Solace, that overly jump cut bullshit, where unfortunately a lot of movies, this was like 2008 when this came out. So yeah, unfortunately a lot of movies were doing that at the time. It just was annoying to watch, just visually, just like, 2 is, I do agree, I can agree with people say 2 is a bit too much over the top at times, but I'd rather take that. At least I was into it. And I just think 2 had a better villain. The villain in this one just isn't, and also he has to protect this, not just woman, like protect this person trope. And I know the second one kind of did that with him trying to save the kid, but this one was he had to protect this girl because she was a target, and basically the premise is Frank gets roped in. I do like the start of it, because he's hanging out with that police chief from the first movie. I did like that, the inspector. Basically Frank is forced to take a package because Johnson, who's the villain of the movie, or he's like the main villain of the movie, he's just, the villain is just kind of boring. He's just a dude in a suit. Like, I was just waiting for Statham to kill him in the end. That's kind of one of those things. He just wasn't a compelling villain. And he's supposed to protect this girl, Valentina, and basically has to take this package, and so basically then they just go to different locations. We get some fight scenes in between, which the fight scenes, I guess, at times are fine, but it's just the editing kind of makes it look almost bad looking. That's why I just prefer the fighting in 1 and 2. Like, at least 2 was edited well. I do not like the editing in this. I don't know. And then there was that weird scene where she runs off from Frank, and she, like, starts hitting on him, and they do, like, sex puns at each other. That was I was just like, I was like, what the fuck? Well, how did I not remember this scene? And it just was cringe. It was not good. So basically, yeah, Johnson gets killed in the end. Who cares? It's such a boring movie. So I will go more into the plot when we get into it. I just was not as into this one, man. I like Jason Statham was fine. I'm one when a Jason Statham movie isn't good, it's not him. It's usually everything else. It's not him. Because I still think him as Frank is great. I do like Inspector Tarconi, who was in the other two movies. Who's kind of like his little, I don't know, like sidekick, partner, whatever you want to call him. And it's like that stuff's fine. It's just when this one got into the story, I just was not into it, man. And the editing, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it again. The editing was just, it was like, I know Taken 3 is way later, like, 'cause that was like 2015, but that had that same problem. Granted, it's not as bad with the jump cuts like that movie, but my god, like that opening where it's just that flashy jump cut, overly cut bullshit. I don't like it. It visually to me just looks terrible. Especially in an action movie, like that's like it's weird because yeah, 2 was a bit over the top with some of the action scenes, but at least 2 was compelling and had a way more compelling villain. Johnston just did not do it for me. He was just generic guy in suit who was just okay. I'm waiting for Statham to kill you so we can get the movie to be over. So out of 10, I'll give this one like a 4. It's not terrible. I mean, it's bad, but it's not the worst. I'll take this over Expendables 3, 4. Sorry, but this isn't good. If I'm gonna go back to the Transporter movies, I'm mainly gonna do 1 and 2, and that's probably it. And to me, there isn't a Transporter 3 because this one just isn't. It didn't do it for me. So, like I said, later on, Screen Rant is gay. I'm gonna try to actually see if I could do it in the afternoon. To be honest, if I can get it done around like maybe 2 or 3, I'll see how today goes. But if I can do it around 2 or 3, then we can do it in the afternoon. Because I do want to roast this article, just because it's like, yeah, it's not one of their weird woke articles. I'll give them that, but it's still dumb. John Wick did not create the revenge genre. If we're gonna be honest, Death Wish did it I think Death Wish was like 74. So since the 70s. So is John Wick a ripoff of that? Kill Bill existed. There's always been these one-man army movies or woman armies where the premise is they got fucked over in some way or someone they know got killed and they want revenge on that person. Kill Bill. Even Commando, they took his daughter. What happens? Basically just kills everybody to get his daughter back. It's the same kind of deal. That premise isn't new. So to say Beekeeper, anyway, I'll talk about that more later. But anyway, let's get into Transporter 3. So the film starts off. We see Frank and Dark Gold, fishing, and they have some good banter between each other. Like, that's like honestly, this is probably like my major favorite scene in the movie, just because they have great chemistry together. And I wish we did get more of this character in the movie. Anyway, so so we see a car crash into Frank's home because Frank declined a job. So this is where we meet Valentina, who I didn't care for the character at all. I didn't think she was a great actress. It's I don't know, could have gotten better. I think that was the other problem I was having. They didn't really have any chemistry, so like that's the thing. If you're gonna do this kind of story where you got a character who's Frank, or any kind of character has to protect a character, another character, a woman, or even a guy, you gotta have that. They gotta have chemistry because we're gonna be watching these two mainly the whole movie, so they gotta have chemistry. And when you don't have that, you're just kind of just. So whenever they're on the screen together, I just don't care. So Frank gets So Malcolm, a friend of his, ends up getting killed. Frank gets knocked out by one of John's, and this is where we see Johnson and basically orders him to do a job. He places an explosive on Frank, basically saying you got to take the package to Budapest or it will explode. Um, we do see Tarconi a little bit throughout the movie trying to help Frank, by researching, um, Johnson. We do get a pretty cool fight here. This is probably the best fight in the movie when he tries to get the bracelet off. I'll admit, that was like probably the best fight in the movie, but the rest of them just kind of eh. So Johnson basically is now having basically able to disable the mom on the car, which the other problem I had, they did that way better in the second one. I don't care how over the top it is with the fucking jumping on the crane. At least that was something. This is just eh. So Frank and Johnson, we get a big chase by some agents. They evade. Valentina takes the keys, and this is where we get this awkward sex scene between the two. Oh God, just the lead up to it, so like the dialogue. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And they just do not have chemistry. So it's like I don't care for them as a couple when they don't have any chemistry. So and this is where he also realizes the real package is Valentina. It's just whatever. And Johnson, the package is delivered, but obviously Johnson turns on him. You gotta have the bad guy do that. So he drives off the bridge, basically faking his death, which we know it's so telegraphed. Like there's a way to do it and have it look like we know he's gonna do, but this way it was just like the way it was done in this was just he's gonna. So he's gone for a little bit of the movie. Then Frank basically comes back, fights. They fight on a train, and then this is where he chases Johnson. He gets Johnson. They have a little fight, but then Johnson is tied to the bracelet and sends the car in reverse. And Johnson initially breaks free, but then he gets blown up. So whatever. And then kind of, I guess, happy ending. I just don't care, man. So Frank and Tarconi from fishing. Okay, I did like that scene. I did like that scene when they were fishing in the end. But everything else, I just did not care. I just wasn't as into this one. The editing doesn't help the villain. And I forgot about, there's another character called Tomalenko. I forgot to mention him. He's like a cop character trying to get Frank. Whatever. None of this matters. This one is just not as interesting, man. Like for an action movie, it was kind of boring. I found it. I think for the last Transporter, it should have been like kind of like the first one. Maybe he declines to do a job, and then people are after. Just do something like that. Don't him like having to protect this girl the whole movie, and then if you're gonna do that, at least have someone he has chemistry with. The girl in this, Valentina, just is an interesting character. You don't care. Johnson's a very boring villain. You're just waiting for him to die, and not in a good way. Like not in like you're into the story. It's like you can't wait for him to die in a good way because that's actually a good what a good villain actually would do. But no, it's just you don't care. So yeah, this movie's shit. Just watch Transporter 1 and 2, or if you even if you want, just do Transporter 1. But 3 is I just don't think it's worth watching. I think 1 and 2 are probably the only ones I'm gonna watch. So I don't know why I was a bit more positive. I guess I wasn't as critical, and I guess some of the action movies were able to carry it for me at the time. Maybe that's why I was a bit more positive on it. But yeah, it didn't. I was like, wow, just watching it on Friday, I was just like, what the fuck? This isn't good. So but anyway, 4 out of 10. I'll give it a 4 out of 10. Later, I'm gonna try to, like I said, guys, gun to do it in the after, like later today at like around 2 or 3. We're gonna do my Screen Rant article. It's just stupid. Like, how do you bring up a point like that? Love John Wick. It didn't create the. It's like saying, like, at least when people called Friday the 13th a Halloween ripoff, at least Halloween was kind of the big slasher that did kind of kick it off. So you at least had more of an argument. John Wick came out in 2014. We had already had a bunch of revenge movies by this fucking point. I mean, even if you're gonna be honest, even the character Punisher, you know, and he's been around way longer than a lot of even the movies that I mentioned. So, anyway, guys, talk about that later. But aside from that, guys, I'm gonna call it here.